But she said it takes your left hemisphere to keep you pissed off because you have to keep reciting it to yourself. It's a narrative process.
Interesting.
Yeah. If you don't keep insisting that you should be pissed off and telling yourself why, she said it's about 90 seconds that left hemisphere amygdala will calm down. It's that function in the brain is there to say, this is seriously reminding me of some really dangerous times. You better panic, And if you don't keep reciting why you should panic, or if you're not actually under attack, it'll calm down in about a minute and a half. So, the advice people will say that if you can take, it's just 90 seconds, take a minute and a half. You don't even have to leave the room necessarily. If everybody's, it's like, get a hold of yourself. If you just stop reciting why you should be so pissed off. The trouble is we're very good at doing that.
Oh yeah.
Because we're all good at justifying why we're pissed off because, I know I'm right and everybody else is wrong,
Of course.
Although, as I said in my other book, I'm wrong too, but that I can be pissed off at myself, I guess.
I think that
we wrote that. I'm just kind of curious.
I don't recall. Part of me probably was.
Okay.
I think that's one of the most difficult things that I've dealt with in terms of betrayal is that right and wrong, process, whatever, the first thing when you asked me, well, have I been betrayed? I thought of, I had two best friends who were like my whole world. We did everything together. And then I had started to go through a spiritual awakening, started to develop in different ways. So I could see now looking back, I could see that there was this gap between us. But when I was in that moment, it was, I had an ectopic pregnancy, had a surgery, almost died. And then they didn't show up.
Ooh,
pretty much ghosted me. And then to this day I think I've talked to them once since that happened, and that was in 2019. So that was really hard, and dealing with it, moving through it, the one thing I was stuck on for about a year was how right I was and how I wanted them to acknowledge that I was right. And it was interesting because when it hit me, because I kept coming back to them over and over again, even though I had no contact with them, I didn't want a relationship with them. They weren't reaching out to me to have a relationship either. There was no reason for them to come up, but it just kept coming up. And I was, with my dad, we were going somewhere, and it just hit me. Oh, I want them to acknowledge the pain of what I'm feeling right now. I want them to realize they're shitty friends. I want them to say that.